Well, Deputy President Paul Mashatile is expected to deliver the keynote address during the commemoration of this year's Langa Massacre to be held at Kariega in the Eastern Cape today. This year's commemoration will be held under the theme Deepening a Culture of Social Justice and Human Rights, which seeks to accelerate solutions to achieve the focus areas of the Government of National Unity, which are to reduce poverty, build a capable development state, and to drive inclusive growth and job creation. SABC News reporter Lerato Fekisi joins us now live from Kariega for the very latest. Lerato, thank you so much for your time and good morning to you. Of course, an important day for South Africa. Just paint a picture in terms of what you are currently seeing now ahead of that address by the Deputy President of the country.
A very good morning to Unati. Right now we are at James Dudula Primary High School in Kariega, where the Minister of Arts and Culture, Gator Mackenzie, will be handing over a state-of-the-art facility to assist young people who want to play sport in this area. You understand, Unati, this area is marred with a lot of gangsterism and a lot of drug abuse. So this forms part of a human right for kids to be educated, to be in school and not to be caught up in drugs. But a huge focus later on, like you said, will be on the Deputy President Paul Mashatile as he gives his keynote address. In what is going to be a trying time for Kariega over the past couple of years, we've seen a deteriorating Kariega where we've seen service delivery issues really come to the harm, the issues of water, electricity, where at times people in Kariega sleep without electricity and wake up without electricity either. But I'm joined now by perhaps the host of these celebrations, the Premier of the Eastern Cape, Mr. Oscar Mabuyane. Premier, the Eastern Cape hosting the commemorations, but perhaps to start here, that we've had commemorations of human rights taking place, and constantly the complaint has been from people of the Langa Massacre that not enough has been done to compensate them. There have been promises, but they still felt, as we speak in their meeting, that every time people come, there's food parcels handed over, there's promises being made, and then another Human Rights Day comes, more people come from national government, but nothing is being done for them.
Well, thank you very much. Good morning to you, Sisi, and good morning to viewers. We have been working with them over the last number of years. Today is 40th anniversary commemoration. That tells you that we have never forgotten about what happened here, and we continue our level best for the last 30 years as government to ensure that this day is remembered, whether it is done by the municipality. We were here last year as a province for a provincial event. Similar situations have been coming up. Remember, we are a province of a lot of massacres, a province of patriots who sacrifice a lot, selfless patriots. You talk about massacres all over in this province. Komani, Mdanzane, Edgington, you name Duncan Village, a lot of massacres that have been happening, Bishop Massacre, etc., because our people are involved in struggling. We are a province that was involved in a protracted wars of resistance against land dispossession. So this issue of compensation is part of what we have been doing as part of the reconciliatory approach as government, extending an olive branch to everybody, reconcile, unite, because we said we're building a united country, non-racial, non-sexist. That's why we're here, where you can see the dominance of people here, a country that must be democratic and prosperous. So for them to realize the sacrifice which was made by their forebears, they must see prosperity now. This is what we are trying to do. Yes, complaints have always been going on, issues of housing. The challenge is that immediately the municipality doesn't function well. For the last 10 years here in Nelson Mandela, we've been experiencing problems since the introduction of coalition government. So we haven't really been focused. We're quite happy now that municipality is under the executive mayorship of the ANC. There is proper integration, there is clear direction. What national says, province says, is able to find a kind of a congruent point where we are able to work together and move forward. So I'm quite happy as a premier that the presidency, national government responded to our plea that we host this 40th anniversary here. This day is not just only about Sharpeville or Cape Town. It's a day that almost the entire South Africa was involved in. It's a special day, but for us to take this struggle forward is to change people's lives. We are working hard on that to ensure that people's lives are changed. And we're working on a sustainable program which seeks to address all these kind of teething problems, chronic problems they have. Remember, you still have victims that are alive, that are still going with their bullets in their bodies. You still, those people who died, who still needed to be given respect, even if there are no more here. So that's why we're going to go and do a wreath laying before we start any program. So as government, we are now clear on what we seek to do here. That's why we're here again. We were here last year as a province. So we'll continue to make sure that we address those problems.
Premier, one of the human rights that has been violated, I would say, in Kariega and also Kariega is the issue of crime. We saw the crime stats being released, Nelson Mandela Bay Metro, now #1 in terms of crime stats. There's also been a petition that's going to be signed next week by the mayor asking for the national government to intervene to what is now a crisis in Kariega. Would you agree that more needs to be done to address the issue of crime? We can't have a province named after the greats of Mandela and we're celebrating human rights, that people are not even safe in their homes in the Kariega that we're in now.
Definitely. The crime is very much worrying us. Of interest, over the last couple of months, we hosted almost not less than 10 international events that have been taking place. All they were incident-free, crime-free, but we've got biggest problem in our townships. You know, the issue of emergence of the so-called Damaginza, whilst we're dealing with gangsterism in northern areas, continues to put us in a corner, difficult corner, of making our people not to celebrate freedom during the time of them being liberated. So we're dealing with that issue of crime, but the crime, organized crime, it needs a very deeper, thorough, intelligence-driven sort of breakthroughs. I'm happy that national government is working with us now. At least municipalities coming on board as well, so that we tackle this. We need an integrated approach. You need the entire ecosystem in the justice system to come on board. The Department of Justice, Correctional Service, some of crime that is happening here, we know it is masterminded in the St. Albans and elsewhere. So it tells you we need to collapse that, what's happening inside the cells in St. Albans, those who control those who are outside. So we are working into that kind of a situation. Crime is a problem. Our people are dying, gender-based violence and femicide. People are insuring other people in order to catch them. So this is the biggest problem that police are now zooming into. So we're putting every hotspot here under microscopic view to ensure that we are able to deal with crime and uproot it. And I can tell you, we are prevailing on crime. We might be #1, but we are arresting people. The kind of conviction rate is also very good for us, that those whom we arrest, we are able to take them through and put them before the judge.
Thank you, Premier. What else? The Premier of the Eastern Cape, Oscar Mabuyane, speaking about the issue of crime. You remember the recent stats being announced that the Nelson Mandela Bay Metro has been ranked #1 in terms of crime, showing that it is an issue, saying that also they need to try and combat crime where it started in the streets in St. Albans, saying that issues of gangsterism is becoming a problem, but also saying that they are helpful and grateful that national government has stepped in to try and solve this issue of crime. Also speaking about the issue of the Langa Massacre, saying that compensation is going to be done for them to try and assist the victims of those who lost their loved ones in 1985. For now, let's go back to in studio.
All right, Lerato Fekisi there for us. Thank you so much for that. Lerato, of course, she is in Kariega in the Eastern Cape, speaking there about really day-to-day issues that affect South Africans today, particularly in the Eastern Cape province, including basic human rights of safety. The Premier there talking about an integrated approach that the province is taking in as far as addressing crime is concerned. But